Hey, y'all, it's your friendly neighborhood therapist, and this is August 27, 2026, and I want to talk to y'all about something real quick. Not the series in racial discrepancies and disparities. We'll get back to that. And not the fact that we have lost so many iconic people in like the past week, which is insane. But something a little bit more important. I need all women to tap in. All women. I don't care what your background is, your race, your culture, none of that. All women tap in real quick. For some reason, I keep coming across these posts the past couple of days, and it's bothering me because it's one thing when men don't understand our bodies because it's a man. We have different bodies. They don't choose to understand ours, and that's fine. We don't always understand everything about men's bodies either. But you absolutely should understand more about your own body. And it's bothering me that y'all don't. Some of y'all don't. So I came across way too many posts the past couple of days, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because it's the phase of life that I'm in myself. But I've come across way too many posts regarding perimenopause and menopause with incorrect information. And I don't like that because you are literally passing along information that will steer somebody the wrong way. Okay. So, funny thing is, we at the Clinical Cookout did an episode on perimenopause and menopause. We did. And if you don't know what Clinical Cookout is, that is a podcast. I used to do a mental health podcast with three other beautiful, phenomenal Black women. And you can still go see those episodes or go listen to them. They're on all the different podcast apps and YouTube. So you can always go watch or listen. But listen here, women, all of y'all, I'm going to need y'all to stop saying that women in their early 30s can't possibly be in perimenopause because that's not true. They can. Okay. I'm going to give y'all some information real quick. All right. Like I said, we did an episode on this, so I had this stuff literally still in my folder from that. I just had to pull it back up. So here we go. Perimenopause does typically start in the mid to late 40s. Those are the subtle hormonal changes and early symptoms that you experience that let you know you're about to go through the change, as my grandma called it. However, they can absolutely start in early 30s, and for some women, even in their late 20s. How about that? That's terrible, ain't it? So typically, you do start to notice changes around 45-ish, but again, it can start before that. And there are reasons why it can start before that. So some factors that influence that early start: smoking. Smokers tend to reach it 1 to 5 years earlier than non-smokers. Genetics can play a role. If the women in your family experienced it earlier, you likely will too. Medical treatments, such as cancer treatments or pelvic radiation, can trigger early ovarian changes. And then there's also surgical menopause. If you've ever had a hysterectomy and got your ovaries removed specifically, you are absolutely going into menopause whenever that happens. Whenever that happens, you're going into menopause. But then there's also race. So I guess this does fit the series in racial discrepancies and disparities, huh? So race plays a factor. Yes, Black women, on average, we go into perimenopause and menopause earlier than white women and any other demographic of women. And you want to know why? Because of systemic racism. Damn, it just affects everything, doesn't it? Don't believe me? Let me tell you something. That disparity exists, and the differences are very multifactorial and not driven solely by genetics. No, key contributing factors to that: weathering. I've talked about weathering before, but let me break it down for y'all one more time. The physical toll of chronic stress caused by systemic racism and socioeconomic inequities, environmental exposures, and persistent healthcare disparities that often lead to delayed or dismissed treatment. We're not believed, and we know that already. And we already know that we are treated very differently when it comes to medical situations like labor and delivery and things like that. So, yeah, racism actually is one of the factors that causes Black women to experience perimenopause and menopause sooner. So stop telling these young ladies that they cannot be having perimenopause or menopausal symptoms in their early 30s. They absolutely can. All right. Then there are other things where we get the different end of the stick too. Hot flashes. Ours are typically more severe and last longer, whereas white women's hot flashes might last for about 2 to 4 years. Black women's hot flashes last for about 10 to 12. So see, stop telling women that they can't be experiencing something that they're telling you that they are experiencing. All right? Stop doing that because it's factually incorrect. And I'm going to need us to know more about our own bodies than anybody because it's our body. Now, that being said, I also need y'all to know one other thing. Menopause doesn't actually end. The symptoms subside or lessen, but you're always and forever in menopause once you're in it. There's perimenopause, and there's menopause, which has a specific time, like a specific spot you are in menopause. And then there's postmenopause. You're in that for the rest of your life. So yeah, I just need us to work on learning us a little bit more. I need us to stop spreading misinformation about us in our own bodies, ladies. We can't do that to the young girls because I know a lot of us have the same story where the women in our family didn't really tell us about this. We saw them go through hot flashes and we saw them go through things, but they didn't explain to us that this was an actual part of life and it is hell on wheels. So if you happen to be walking in a Walmart or a Kroger or a Publix and you see me in the freezer, I'm having a hot flash. Leave me alone. Okay? Because it's happened before. I was in the freezer at Walmart. It ain't no game. It ain't no joke for real. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with y'all. I thought it was something important to talk about because for some reason, like I said, I kept seeing it being talked about and I kept seeing people giving wrong information. So, ladies in the chat, are you going through any of this right now? How old are you? And it's very much normal and okay if you are 30 or 31 or 32 because it does happen that soon for some people based on the factors I provided. And if you're a black woman, it absolutely can be true. If nothing else, we gotta believe us because no one else does. All right, y'all. Have a beautiful, wonderful rest of y'all evening, and I will holler at y'all later.